yourself bogged down by negative thoughts that seems to take over your mind, no matter how optimistic your circumstances seem. But what if I tell you there is a way to break free from this cycle? Is it possible? Yes, it is. Retrain your brain to think positively. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Neetu, your transformational coach, healer and speaker. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the notification button. In this video, I'm going to share 6 powerful steps that have helped me in breaking the cycle of negative thoughts. Watch till the end because these steps can change your life. Do you ever find yourself stuck in a loop of negative thoughts and feels like there is no way out? It can be exhausting and draining. Maybe you are constantly worrying about what ifs or start feeling anxious about the possibility of something bad happening, even when there is no real reason for you to feel that way. If you are constantly defaulting to negative conclusions like this, you may be suffering from negative thinking pattern in your thought process. Let us try to understand the common 7 negative thinking patterns, which are mental filtering, polarized thinking, overgeneralization, magnification, jumping to conclusions, personalization, blaming. Mental filtering. Mental filtering is when we filter out the positives and focus only on the negative side. For example, if you are giving a presentation and someone left the room, then you can start thinking, he left because your presentation was boring or bad. But the reality may be different. Polarized thinking. We also call it as a black and white thinking. Black and white thinking is when we believe there is no middle ground. It is either something is really good or really bad, and there is no middle point. There is nothing in between. For example, I missed one question, so I did badly in my exam. I think we all might have come across such a situation in life. Overgeneralization. It is when we conclude it is because of one bad experience. All experiences related to that will be bad. For example, if you had one toxic relationship, then you will be afraid to have another relationship, thinking all the relationships you are going to have will be toxic. Magnification. Here your special magnifying glass can exaggerate the negative details of an event, making them a much bigger deal than they are. For example, if one of your family members is late to come home, we assume he or she met with an accident or something bad happened to them. Jumping to conclusion. How often have you jumped to a conclusion based on a feeling or a thought without any evidence to support it? We jump to the conclusion when we make a hasty judgment or believing something to be true without bothering to consider all the facts. For example, you seem to know exactly how someone is thinking. You often interpret an action or response and conclude that someone is angry with you. Personalization. This is a distortion where we take everything personally and compare ourselves to others. For example, while sitting in a group, if anyone speaks about an incident, you may think he indirectly pinpointed you. Blaming. It is when we blame others for our emotional pain or blame ourselves for every problem. For example, I should have done it my way instead of listening to you. It is your fault, it didn't work out. Have you ever noticed any of these patterns in your thought process? It is important to recognize negative thoughts early because they can quickly spiral out of control, affecting our mood, action, and our mental health. The longer we let them go unchecked, the deeper they can take root, making it harder to break free. By catching these thoughts early, we can prevent them becoming a dominant force in our lives and start shifting our mindsets towards positivity and growth. So, now we will look into the steps to retrain your brain to come out of your negative thoughts. Try to use these steps when you feel negative thoughts. Here I will give you 6 steps to retain your brain. Here you go. Number 1. Identify your negative thoughts. Number 2. Challenge your thoughts. 3. Understand what triggers you. 4. Turn negative into positive. 5. Compassionate self-talk. 6. Exercise. Now let us discuss these tips in details. 1. Identify your negative thoughts. First, identify and accept your thoughts. Once we are mindful of our thoughts, we can understand which negative thinking pattern we engage with most and detach from believing they are true. Try writing these thoughts down when you catch them. It might sound simple, but putting them on paper helps you see how often they pop up and how harsh you are being on yourself. 2. Challenge your thoughts. Once you have identified these negative thoughts, it's time to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this thought? Often you will find that these negative beliefs are exaggerated or completely unfounded. For instance, if you think, I always mess things up, try to remember times when you have succeeded. Balancing your perspective like this can make you feel a lot lighter and more hopeful. Number 3, understand what triggers you. In each of our lives, there are certain people, places and things that can trigger our negative thoughts. Identifying what triggers you will help you to break these cycles. So, understanding that trigger is very important. Hence the reason I have said earlier to write it down. 4. Replace negative into positives. Now, let us talk about replacing those negative thoughts with positive ones. This doesn't mean ignoring problem, but looking at them in a more constructive way and from a different perspective. For example, instead of thinking, I can't do this, try saying this. This is challenging, but I can learn and improve. Training your brain to see possibilities instead of limitation is powerful. Each small positive shift in your thinking is a victory, and it builds up over time. 5. Compassionate self-talk. We are often extremely hard on ourselves. Our self-talk is harsh, negative, and sometimes abusive. When you think about how you would speak to a good friend, you will not talk in this manner to a good friend. Then why talking to yourself? So, practice more compassionate self-talk with yourself. 6. Exercise. Immerse yourself with the nature. Go for a walk. Spending time in nature and doing exercise can generate good hormones, which can help in relieving your stress and break the pattern of negative thoughts. Surround yourself with positive people and supportive friends. Breaking the cycle of negative thinking isn't easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. But with time and effort, it's totally possible. Start by recognizing your patterns, follow the steps I have given, and surround yourself with positive influence to lead a happy and peaceful life. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you find these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with friends or someone who might need it. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on mental wellness.